Today's episode of Tiling Connect is brought to you by Lux's Grates, the leaders in aluminium drainage, which are UV stable, rust proof and customisable on site. Available in your local tile or plumbing shop. Hey everybody, Mark here from Tiling Connect. Welcome back to another episode, and I must say, more importantly, welcome back to 2024. We had an amazing 2023, and we're incredibly humbled by the community, the growth, and all of the feedback and support throughout the year. We're very lucky and fortunate today to have another amazing guest with us. And I'd like to introduce Brenton Russo from MULTIPANEL that are based in Melbourne. Brenton, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome, mate. How was the break over Christmas?
Yeah, good. As discussed with you before, we were headed up north for a family holiday up to Brisbane and then down to the coast, but the weather wasn't as great as we thought it might be, and just a lot of grey and a fair bit of rain. So still good to spend some time with the family though.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think if you've been in the building product space for any amount of time, you sort of know that the Christmas period is one of the best times of the year just to switch off and, recharge the batteries, go away with the family, probably eat too much food and have too much to drink. So
yeah, it is a good time. I think it's especially post-COVID, I reckon everyone's definitely down tools for a good 2, 3, 4 weeks. A lot of people don't come back after Australia Day, so it is quiet, but quiet in a good way for us at the moment, which is good.
Yeah, that's excellent. Great time to catch up. And yeah, I've noticed that myself just the past 12 to 18 months and possibly into the 2-year period, that a lot of tradies are really taking that time at Christmas. And I know a lot of guys and some girls aren't coming back until like the 15th, and they left on the 15th of December. They were just like, no, the team's got to have a break. We need time off. Purely because most of them are doing 6-7 days a week at the moment. It's non-stop. There's that much work out there, right. which is a great thing, but people can burn out, which is not a good thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, cool, mate. Let's get into this. Love having new guests on the show, and you and I connected last year. I think it was at the Bunnings Trade Expo. It was either last year or the year before.
That's
but
right. Yeah,
I think I've been pestering you for a while to come on the program. So glad you're here, mate. Tell us about yourself and MULTIPANEL. Give us a bit of a background on you.
Yeah, on me, I studied commerce at uni and became an accountant, and then from there I come straight into MULTIPANEL. This is a while ago, obviously. And about 2011, I took a few years off and moved to London. So in terms of work over there, I worked for EMI Records, the record label there, in a financial accounting role, and then went to their group treasury office, which is the head office for the UK. It was an interesting time. They were selling the business to Universal Music and had to be divested. So interesting, learned a lot there. And then when it was sold, I moved on to Discovery Channel in the UK, and that was pretty fun too. They were cash rich and buying up distressed assets all over Europe, media assets. So yeah, integrating them onto our systems and platforms and stuff like that was pretty fun as well. But then I met my wife over there as well. She's Aussie, but from Brisbane. And we decided to come back and settle down in Australia, in Melbourne, and then to come back to MULTIPANEL. It is a family business, so that's drew me back there. And I think that this most recent chunk of my time there is when the company's really developed into what it is today. So, yeah, that's the part of the history I suppose we'll speak about today.
Yeah, mate, that's fantastic. So a bit of time overseas, which obviously for anybody that has travelled, it certainly adds a very different repertoire to your character build and who you are and how I remember the first time I travelled overseas I was a bit of a late bloomer because I've got 3 kids, so it was the affordability factor of not being able to go overseas, and the first time I jumped on a plane was in 2010, went to Vietnam and Cambodia. And it changed my life forever. Going overseas and just experiencing different cultures and different people and how people behave. And yeah, it's certainly highly. I'd highly encourage anybody to go and do it as young as they can. It certainly builds character.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things that I'll certainly be encouraging my kids to do. But lucky enough, I've got an Italian passport, so I was able to spend a bit longer there than most Aussies can on a 2-year visa, which was good. But yeah, I mean, even from work right through to friendships and having to do things on your own and not having much support, and having put yourself out there a lot, I think is different. But it's also nice going to somewhere where no one knows you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
Fantastic, mate. Well, look, I'm really interested. I don't know a lot about multi-panel. I've seen the products around for a
Yeah.
really long time. Please tell us about the company and give us a look in on what multi-panel does.
Yeah, sure. So look, we're a passionate group of people that, are passionate about the waterproofing industry and in construction and a range of industries really, but mainly in construction. We've been around about 20 years. So that's how old the business is, not always doing construction related stuff. These days we mainly do shower bases as our hero product. We do balcony flooring and we're getting into a lot now of sort of screed replacement. I suppose our shower bases can be considered that. So yeah, we're the first product certified of its kind to be certified without use of a waterproof membrane. So it's a big
Mm,
change.
okay.
And I'm sure you and most of your listeners would know that around 80% of building defects are due to breakdowns or water and breakdowns of membranes or water issues. So it's a pretty big issue
Mm,
in the industry, acutely aware of it. And yeah, that's the problem we're trying to solve. I mean, one of our biggest selling points, I suppose, are the speed of construction. So you don't have to wait for membranes and screeds to dry. Big plus, so we can compress schedules down. Everything's machined, so everything's accurate. So you're not mixing sand and cement on site, hoping you get the fall right, all that sort of stuff. It's all done on a computer and it's all exact. We're Aussie made company, which we're quite passionate about and letting people know about.
mm,
And we do a lot of customization. And being here, we can get stuff done. We do custom shower bases up to 2.4 by 1.2 meters. Wherever you want the waste outlet, we'll put it. And then we do customized balconies. So we'll do a 10 by 5 meter balcony over a range of different panels. They all go together like a jigsaw. It's all cut. It's all perfect. And we do that because we're Aussie made. If we're overseas or something like that, we couldn't do it. Like I said before, we're CodeMark certified. So, there's big changes to the NCC. It's a big issue for not just the people doing it, it's for the surveyors, it's for the architects specifying the product. So that's been a big change in our business over the last 2 years. And it's been great for us. So yeah, we're a passionate bunch of people that really want to change the industry for the better. We want people to use products that are future proof or that are innovative to help them with the issues that they may be having. I'm sure most of your listeners would be the better waterproofers that don't have a lot of issues, but
mm.
yeah, it's a problem within the industry. And yeah, that's what we're here. We really target sort of that medium density builder. So a builder that's building volume and time is money.
Yeah.
They really tend to go for our product. But we're also doing a lot in the modular space at the moment as well. So those guys are very innovative. The way they do things and speed of construction is very important for them.
Mm,
So we're doing we did one of the bigger projects we've done in the past was the quarantine facilities in here in Melbourne and Brisbane and a bit in WA too. And how quickly that had to happen was
yeah.
quite important, and that was a pretty big project. So, but then we deal with anybody. Our go-to-market strategy is more through resellers and distributors. So we don't actually supply the product to the individuals that is bought through one of the major hardware stores or
Mm,
something like that. So anyone can buy it, anyone can access it, and everyone loves it, from waterproofers, tilers, to DIY people, to builders themselves. They can install shower bases, basically waterproof it themselves. A lot of the time, they don't need a secondary trade to come on site. So
mm,
we're diverse in who can use it and what use it, but then we also go across industries. We still sort of started in the marine industry, and we still sell to people throughout Asia and in America. We've got quite a big boat builder over there that uses it. So yeah,
wow.
it's been used literally in planes, trains, and automobiles over the years. But for for this and for now is really pushing in that construction space and trying to help people sleep easier at night by knowing they've got a fully waterproof product.
Yeah.
It's not skinned. It's the same product the whole way through. So it's a solid membrane the whole way through, and it's polyurethane. So it's compatible with most membranes and that sort of thing as well. So yeah.
So I'm just going to ask a few questions because I'm a little bit of a novice at the panel type products. And is this particular product something you can tile over, or is it replacing that as well? Or is it just replacing?
No, definitely. We're definitely a substrate. So our shower base is a 25 mil thick, and they'll go to the thinnest point is 8 mil. So they have to be fully supported. And then you tile directly on top of that. Our balcony flooring system is 30 mil thick. So a big plus in that, in terms of construction and that sort of thing, is you can put the floor down, you can put the shower base down, you can walk on it straight away. You can stomp on it with a nail. It doesn't matter, and it's not going to compromise your waterproofing. But then we're also doing sort of these graded panels now, which is like a screed replacement. So that'll go on top of a secure on a balcony, and it'll create your fall and your waterproofing all in one. So you don't have to, cart sand and cement up to the 13th story of a building. You can simply put these panels down. They'll come in your kit, a jigsaw. I think we're about 20 times lighter than screed. So there's a whole heap of savings there in terms of, OH&S, having it painted up, all that sort of stuff. That kind of makes a lot of it easier. And it's also, you don't have to engineer the structure as much if you're not putting those tons and tons of screed of weight on a balcony. You can build a lot quicker and a lot more lightweight. So
yeah, look, it sounds like an amazing product. I know I've had a pretty thorough look through your website, and from what I saw, was pretty impressed. And knowing that you can tile over it, that's amazing. So in terms of compatibility and the types of systems that tiling contractors can use over the top of that, do you guys provide advice on that as well?
We tend to steer away from advice on anything that isn't us, because we're not tilers, we're not even waterproofers, we're manufacturers. But each of those systems has been tested by the third party. So a Marpay or an Ardex or a CTO Sika, all those sort of people, there's this list on our website, have gone away and done their testing and said, we recommend these products to go on top of ours. So most of the time it's a primer and then a tile adhesive and then tile straight on top.
Yeah, beautiful. That's awesome. Yeah, look, it's I think in today's digital media landscape, and there's some heavy hitters out there at the moment exposing some of the really shonky practices that are going on in the building industry, and I think it's a really good thing. Certainly, there's a great need for more training. There's a great need for more guidance. There's a great need for more compliance in building and construction, and when you've got products like MULTIPANEL, and there's some other products out in the marketplace as well that are making it more effective to bulletproof the system, it makes the industry stronger, right? I've always wondered, how long will membranes last in the current climate, given how bad some of the building work or the trade work is that's being done out there. I mean, you certainly just could open up Instagram and in a heartbeat see someone, promoting someone that's not doing the thing right. And it's a bit of a spider's web, but certainly these products are made for making the industry stronger. So you would think that installing MULTIPANEL would be a much more effective way than relying on someone using a brush and a roller and expecting them that they'll get it right. Because there's no prefabricated measurements to using a paintbrush and roller. Every job's going to be different. Every person is going to apply the thickness of the membrane to a particular microns different from one job to the next, one person to the next. So there's no consistency where MULTIPANEL is providing that consistent application.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's part of the problem, is you're not relying on, a couple of microns, like you said, or a few millimeters of waterproofing. It's something that it's not bulletproof, no system is, but it can cop, the young kid that shouldn't be walking on the waterproofing, his first day on the job with a stone in his boot, walking across it accidentally. Yeah. We can do that. We can cater for that. So it's just, it's like I said, we're passionate about the industry and making it better. And so whether you select us or one of our competitors that's doing the same sort of thing, you don't rely on membranes per se, we're all for it. And, you've got to, and like I said, it's about education and telling the people out there there's a different system, a different method to do it. You don't have to say one or the other. It's just that there is a better way out there that's tested and proven. And we've got to start educating the people. I'm not sure what it's like. I think it is a bit different up from where you are, but there's not a lot of qualifications you need down here to become a waterproofer.
No.
And that sort of thing. And unfortunately, there's people out there that don't do a lot, and it's the problems it creates are horrific.
Yeah.
And, if you haven't seen it, like I said, on social media, or you haven't seen it in real life, it's heartache for everybody. And, the homeowner, the builder, the bloke that installed it, and the bloke that's got to fix it. Or the person, the people, all those people. So anything that makes that better, that's what we're all for. And using innovation and prefabrication is one thing we're pretty passionate about as well. We feel can only be better.
Nice, mate. The in terms of your product range, what's your best seller at the moment?
In a 9x9 shower base. We used to be pretty. We used to be about 60-40 split in customised shower bases. So a lot of the renovator market and that sort of stuff was probably taking it up. But as we've grown as a business in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, we've gone a lot more down there. Sort of medium density and larger builders. They tend to use sort of more off the shelf sort of stuff. So our standard 9x9 is pretty popular. 12x9 bases, and then our 30mm tongue and groove flooring is pretty popular. But I think as time goes on, this graded panels, we're seeing a pretty quick uptake in that. That is a pretty elegant solution, especially again in the volume type areas where they can put it up there and put it down and keep walking or keep moving through the site. They're our bigger ones, but we do a lot of that sort of stuff as well in the modular space as well. So that the same sort of growth, but internally in the shower or a bathroom area, we know it might be a footy change room, or it might be a school, and they've got they need falls everywhere, and we can make that up for them, and that's growing pretty quick. That side of things too.
Yeah, nice. So, is it when you say things can be made up? So, I'll digress. You mentioned before that you have a distribution network throughout Australia, and it's sold through a retailer, which is great. So obviously readily available. But you mentioned as well about having things prefabricated and measured. Is there an estimating part of your business where people can actually give you guys specifications for, say, if someone had 100 houses they were doing a particular way? Is that something that MULTIPANEL offers as well?
Yep, that's the fastest growing part of our business. So,
oh really?
It's where we're putting some bulk behind at the moment, that estimating process. So we really want to be operating really efficiently and we get plans. They've got a point where the waste is. We draw it up on computer, send it back for approval, and they give us a go ahead. So any balcony, any big balcony. Part of the changes to the NCC was, secondary waste outlet. I think you already do that up north, but down here we didn't. So you got a big bathroom, you need 2 waste outlets. We can panelise that up for you, not a problem. So that is the biggest growth area, and we've been doing custom shower bases. So we've got custom order forms. If someone's listening today and they want to go and buy a custom shower base, go to our website, download the form, fill it out. It should be pretty easy. Take it to your local hardware store. And submit that, and it's as easy as that. So we turn around custom shower bases 5 to 7 days, including freight. But we've got it down to a fine art now. So a bit different with the bigger projects. So if you're doing, say, 100 townhouses and you've got 3 different balcony types, it's easy. We design them up and we can flow through your workflow as you need it.
Yeah, nice. And tell me a little bit more about how MULTIPANEL. Obviously the last few years have been pretty chaotic. Pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID. How's the business evolved over that time?
Are you looking for a water drainage solution that serves its purpose and adds a touch of elegance to your space? Lux's Grates are here to revolutionise your indoor and outdoor spaces. Whether it's your shower, bathroom, balcony, pool, or any other area, Lux's Grates is the ideal choice. It's quick and easy installation that you can bang out in just over an hour. Their standard grates offer a classic and timeless look, while the next generation style adds a modern twist. Lux's grates are made of high quality anodized aluminium, ensuring durability and longevity.
Yeah, we've grown. I mean, it's again, getting back to the innovative side of it, there wasn't. I explained it to a mate the other day who builds websites, and I was like saying to him, there used to be yellow pages, and then there was websites, and there's a big leap for that. And at the time when people were first selling websites, they're like, yellow pages is never going to not exist. You're kidding yourself. These things won't work. And I think that's the evolution we've seen in the business in the last sort of 5 to 7 years. I think our first accreditation come through in about 2015, and then our CodeMark's only been the last 2 years. But in that space, there was no other, we had to get it certified or accredited because there was no other product in the space that didn't require a membrane. There's a couple others now. So that education side, so when you say how's the business gone, we're nowhere near a ceiling. So for us, there's just plenty of blue sky. So even the slight downturn in the industry, call it Australia wide with the economy, it's like depends who you're speaking to, what you hear. But there's the government wants to build 1.2 million homes over the next 5 years, but builders building $5 million homes, their pipeline's drying up a bit. So it just depends. There's still a lot of blue sky for us and a lot of growth. This year we're growing at 30% year on year, financial year to date, and I think we'll exceed that by year end. So in terms of what we've gone through, to your question, over the last few years, it's just growth. It's been difficult through COVID. We probably didn't grow as fast as we would like to, but we were very fortunate just to be able to stay open and being an Aussie manufacturer. We were able to do that and keep supplying the industry, which is great. So
yeah, awesome.
We did pick up business on the back of people not being able to get supply from overseas on different things. It's a product I haven't mentioned, but we do shower niches. Very easy and quick to do and install, 100% waterproof, part of our system. So some of that was not able to be sourced from overseas through COVID. So we picked up some decent builders using volume on the back of that. But
awesome.
In terms of what we've seen in the last few years, it's just good to be it's not that long ago we were going through COVID, just sort of compartmentalise it, I suppose. But pretty happy to see the back of it. But we're still a young, growing business, even though we've been around a while.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's awesome. And I imagine, I shouldn't imagine, I should just ask, your manufacturing facility, is it in Melbourne?
Yes, we're just about to move. So we were lucky enough, we've outgrown our current facility, so we're moving a couple of doors away, which has been fortunate for us. We acquired a site there, so we're in the process of moving there at the moment. We're going to take all existing machinery as well as we've purchased a heap more. So we'll probably 5 times our manufacturing output in the next sort of 3 or 4 months, which is exciting for us. So that's all happening as we speak. Manufacture it down here, but like I said before, accessible Australia wide, and we send it in containers all over the world.
Yeah, nice. Are you in the size of your team? Got a big workforce?
Yeah, growing. I think we're at 15 or 16 now, and I think by the end of the financial year we're probably up over 20, which is great. Cool. So we do, like I said, a lot of stuff's done on computer, and our manufacturing process is not labour intensive, so that's good for us. So we've still got a lot of growth in our existing sort of operations, which is good.
Fantastic, mate. Well, it's always good to hear about an Aussie story, manufacturing locally, good team, really healthy business, and particularly, an innovative product that's adding strength to the industry. I imagine, have you had a bit of? I imagine you've had a bit of work to do with tiling contractors and end users over your time. Probably not, sort of super intimately always, because obviously you're running the business, and that takes a lot of time out of your day. How do you think that? In terms of installation of tiles in the future, do you think what sort of part do you think multi-panel is going to play in the next 5 or so years with tiling contractors?
Well, in terms of tiling contractors, specifically I mean, we deal with a range, like I said, waterproofers, and mainly sell direct to builders, and then bring in the waterproofers and their tiles per se. But I mean, a small thing I picked up, we went and visited a factory that's a modular builder doing bathrooms, and they pre-cut every tile that goes into these modules. And I
Wow.
was just blown away. I'm thinking, so that's zero waste, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all done on a computer. It's all pre-cut. They get kit tiles, which I know is already available. I'm not sure to what level on the market, but they pre-cut every tile, and you get a kit of tiles and put those tiles in. And for me, that's just, it blew my mind in terms of, just pure lack of waste. And if we can build things more efficiently, and from a tiling perspective, these things aren't cheap, especially, I've done a few renovations myself. There's tiles and then there's tiles. So I think in that space, if you could potentially give plans, a set of plans to a tiling outlet, and say, give me enough tiles to cover this bathroom to the, with a wastage of 10 tiles instead of 100 or whatever it might be. Or I think that's a huge thing. And I really like seeing that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, look, I don't know how the Europeans will feel about tile wastage, because I know they're not as there's not a I don't think they're as efficient as what some other countries are. I think they love just to make they're very flamboyant. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But I know that they they love their tiles, and if it takes 20 square meters for a 10 square meter job, so be it. It's that's how it works. But I know there's a lot of other countries out there striving for efficiency and less wastage, and lower CO2s and all of that sort of stuff, which obviously helps the environment. But yeah, no, that's cool. It's good to know. Well, mate, look, I want to shift gears for a second. No doubt we'll jump back into a little bit more about multi-panel, but just want to find out a little bit more about you. So, I mean, during your work and what you do as a CEO, I mean, how do you stay motivated in the business? And what's have there been some inspiring times that have challenged you, that have created a different world for you?
Yeah, I mean, stay motivated. I think it's important to have a good team around you, and to push each other. We're a values-based business, and two of our values are care and helping each other, and having that respect for each other, but also driving everyone along. And so I think we've got a great leadership team that they're empowered to go and do things and make decisions. In terms of motivations, we kind of have to motivate. We're pushed to motivate each other, which is great.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And yeah, I mean, it is tough at times. Going through, one of the big changes in our business was we used a system implemented a system called EOS, which is a way to run the business. It's called the Entrepreneur Operating System. And one of the big challenges with that, we have a consultant that came in and helped us do that. And he said, you're going to lose most of your team. And we'd just gone through a lot of change. And I said, what do you mean we're going to lose most of our team? I've got a great team now. It's the reason we've been called in to push this team along. And that was at the sort of start to mid 2019. And from then to now, we've got one person left that was still part of that, was part of that original thing. So I think one of the challenges going along is always team and structure. But part of this EOS system we use is being a values-based business, and where now we hire and fire based on values, and having those values in place has made it a lot easier to hire the right people. So that challenge is still always there, and finding people is always there. But in terms of the difficult times over the years, it's been challenges with people, and we find that a little bit easier at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. Good. Sorry, I was caught up with what you were saying, and I was remembering a time when I was in a business where we had a very similar situation and scenario, where an external consultant came into the business and said very similar things, and it was quite confronting. But certainly, I think 3 to 4 years down that pathway, the consultant's theory came. The implementation of that program occurred, and I think there was left with probably maybe one or two of the past people, and it was a whole brand new team. But that's what they do. They reshape businesses so that they can go through the next set of challenges and goals and accomplishments for the organization, for it to grow.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we've seen. It's a system we still currently use in the business, and everyone is on board with it now. And it's just one of those things that it really helped us grow over the last few years, and it's going to help us grow into the future. But yeah, we love it.
Yeah, nice, awesome. Well, I like this question. What advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs just starting out on their business, or if they're launching a new product, which is a very niche thing at the moment, to coin the phrase? Certainly, you know, there's what advice would you give?
Bed down your company values as soon as possible. So if you're starting up the business, be ruthless on what you want to do and the way you want to operate, and then as best you can seek like-minded people, whether it be employees or staff, or suppliers or customers even. You know, make sure you have a set of values which you want to operate under, and they'll probably be closely aligned with your personal values. And then it just helps you guide you with your decision making. So from your values, and then obviously you know what you want to do. So just planning after that, I think, plan what you want to do and then stick to it. And having those values will really help guide most decisions I've found. So I think they're the best things. And then don't be afraid to ask for help and use the best help you can afford at the time. Like I said, the guy that helped us implement EOS, Dennis, he's a great guy. And our accountants over the years, particularly the ones we use now, Blue Rock accounting firm, full service firm. But, you know, that outside advice and help, it can be a pretty lonely place at times. So using that and the people around you, and then, yeah, it gets back to team always for us. So we've got, like I said before, an excellent leadership team that do a great job, and we're a family business, so work pretty closely with my brother as well. He's a great support as well. So it's the people around you, but yeah, be bullish on your values, and I think if you can stick to them, it gets hard at times, especially when you're chasing business. But yeah, if you can stick to those values, I think it's best.
Do you have any tricks of the trade when it comes to finding people, mate? Like it's obviously one of those things that every business owner and myself as being a leadership roles, having to recruit many people over the years that I've been involved in a few businesses. It's a tough game, you know. How do you find good people or great people?
We do it now always back down to our company values. We can what we need done to a certain extent, but if they're aligned in values and if they're people that we want to interact with and be around, we tend to find that that's the sort of people we hire. Yeah. And we're lucky, you know, like I said, since we had that big sort of change, everyone we've hired based on our company values is stuck around, and they're still here today, and they enjoy working for us. I think, you know, we're a certified great place to work. So we do a survey to make sure that's okay. But yeah, nice. Again, it's all based on values, and if they can display that behaviour, and part of that is calling it out as well. So if you see a good value in someone, you say well done, or if you see a bad one, more importantly, you call it out straight away, and people know that when they come on board, that's the way we operate, and even having, I've recruited someone that's starting next week just before the end of last year, and he's explaining this sort of to her, and she said, you know, I loved it, and I think people find it a difference, a bit refreshing, and yeah, it's one of those things. I think big corporations can have values, but in a smaller business, they're values that mean something to the business and mean something to those people in it. We wrote them together. It wasn't just someone coming and saying, these are our values. We wrote them as a leadership team, and that's why I think they're impactful.
Look, it's always, I find that probably one of the most exciting projects to do is when you're creating values in a business, having buy-in from the leadership team and other people within the business as well, depending upon how you want to structure it. I think it's important. I think, if people can see what the vision and mission is of the business, and if their values align, I think, there's only a lot of sunshine in the future of the business or organisation. So that's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Mate, there obviously throughout the course of your journey, there's going to be a number of obstacles. Any that stand out that you face that have made life hard, but you learned a lot of really great lessons from?
I think going through COVID was one of those for sure. Like we pretty soon had to implement daily meetings, and I think part of the obstacle or part of the learning from it is just communication's a key. In terms of being, we literally were lonely. We were stuck in our houses, and to get around each other for 10, 15, 20 minutes on a call every morning was beneficial, because we had the manufacturing facility still open, that we had everyone else at home. So stuff like that. But I think, in any challenge you have, it gets down to communication and not being alone with it. It's no good for your mental health to sit there and on your own. It's about you getting in communicating with people. And I think, from our business side and what we do with this EOS, it's regular meetings. So, any of that stress, you don't have to carry it too long, because it's a weekly meeting where you bring up anything that's happening, good or bad, within the business, and you can deal with it. So, but yeah, that through COVID, certainly it was a tough time. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think many businesses and people had some pretty challenging times through those years, and particularly depending upon where you lived, it was more challenging than others. I think up here in Queensland, I don't think they saw COVID too frequently. So it was business as usual for quite a period of time, but so was most of the country. But anyway, we'll chalk up those lessons and move forward.
We were very lucky just to be able to stay open, to be honest. Very fortunate. So happy with that. A lot of people did a lot harder than us. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. During the course of your your business journey, 21 years in the roles that you held within the business, how important has the role of mentorship played in your and in who you've become?
Yeah, a big part. Like I mentioned earlier, we run the COS model, and I've mentioned it. There's a guy called Dennis. He's been fantastic for me and for the business, and helping us stretch that side of the business. And I think, in terms of anything, we see ourselves as an open and honest and vulnerable business. We don't know everything, so to let people, a consultant like Dennis was, in terms of now he's become a mentor to not only me, but different people in the business. It's really helped us achieve, what we set out to achieve, and not only reshape the business, but on an individual level, certainly helps a lot of us get through, the growth that we're going through. So, I really do that. And also, it's a big one for me is leaning on I suppose our other major consultant would be our accountants, and those guys, they really help. Especially as you grow. So, like I mentioned earlier, we use a company called Blue Rock here in Melbourne, but they're a full service business, and they've got accountants, lawyers, marketing teams, and all that sort of stuff. So anytime you need to lean on them, they're there for you. So sort of in that mentor phase, but also to help grow your business, they've been super at helping us do that as well. So
nice. Yeah. Do you have you got like a schedule or a particular check-in period throughout the year when you catch up with these guys? Is it on rotation or just as required?
No, so with this EOS model, we catch up with Dennis once a quarter. I usually catch up with him intermittently in between that, but that's a system where you'll do a quarterly meeting. We'll do, but then we go back into a weekly team meetings. So that gives you business a pulse, and it gets things going and gives you traction in the business. So we check in with him. We do three quarterlies a year and an annual. And the annual is like a 2-day thing where you'll go away, sit down and look at your 10-year targets, look at your 3-year targets, and build your 1-year target and make sure everything's aligned. So we see him 4 times a year, but on and off every so often. And then also catch up with the accountants very often, but formally once a quarter to review the quarter and have a look forward to the next one.
Yeah, and look, that's really important, to have that sort of system in place, whether you're an organisation such as MULTIPANEL, or even if you're a sole trader. I know there's a lot of people out there that may not have that system in place as defined as that, but they should. I think it's really important if you're not catching up with, people like your accountants and that on a regular basis, that you're really leaving things to chance. I know you might think that you're an amazing person when it comes to running your financials, but it's always helps to have, that mentor talk to you about, the sort of money that you're spending and what's coming in and what's going out, and having a, I suppose, like a little bird on your shoulder saying, hey, look, I don't think it's a good idea that you go and spend that money here right now. We've got a forecast for the next 3 years. We're seeing what's coming, and maybe it might be better to hold it off until Q3. So before you make that call, but certainly you have to have that structure. Without that structure, you're really it's a dangerous place.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also should then free you from that worry. So free you up to go and do what you do, whether it's tiling or whether it's building or whatever. If you can regularly check in with these guys, and they can sort of pat you on the back, because I haven't met many builders, for instance, that are gun accountants. So if you can check in, and they can say, yeah, your cash is looking okay, or whatever, like something like that, and then you can go and do your job. Happy days,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, awesome. Thanks for sharing. Mate, work-life balance integration, it's a pretty hot topic in terms of how people run their lives, and I think it's really important. Certainly, I think a lot's changed during the past 5 years, and I think there's been an enlightening period of time where a lot of people have been woken up to the fact that doing 14, 16-hour days now today is just not a healthy way to live, particularly with everything that's going on in the global painting. So tell me a little bit about how do you balance everything between your professional life and your personal life, and how do you make things work from a healthy structure perspective for everything?
Yeah, like I think I might have mentioned earlier, but I've got a family. I've got 2 kids. I've got another one on the way. So I think
congratulations.
Thank you. I try and take regular breaks, so that time actually to spend full on with the family is fantastic. And it's a bit of a thing I picked up in the UK, because you can't carry forward annual leave, so you have to use it. And for me, I encourage everyone in our business to use their leave. It's not there to be put away. Part of the fact is, we had one guy that accumulated 15 years of annual leave and had to be paid out, which was a bit of a pain. But it's one of those things. And most of the guys now that work for us, guys and girls, they're all in the same space. They've got young families. We're acutely aware of looking after each other's mental health and that sort of thing. And connecting with each other. Again, with this EOS model we use, at the start of every meeting, it's your best person for the week, which is a personal thing that we share with each other, and your best work thing. So it's always interconnected. And I think that gives us the opportunity, these meetings, also to vent any work stress. So if you leave one of these meetings and you haven't brought up a topic, it's kind of on you. So that has helped. That communication has helped. And like you said, it's the days that are gone, I think, of 16-hour work days. And I, fully believe that, you got to work hard, don't get me wrong. We always hustle and push, particularly towards month end. But if me or anyone in the business is working regular, 60, 80-hour weeks, there's a problem. And it generally means we're under-resourced or understaffed, or there's something else going on that's an issue. It's not, you shouldn't be doing that. In my opinion. So I'd rather get to the bottom of that than have that continue on. And then, in the work-life balance sort of space, I think it's important to, especially as a small business, is to make sure you recognise milestones and reward each other based on it. And it's something that we often call out. We have another monthly meeting. We can sit around, and up until recently, we were a group of just blokes, and would sit around in these meetings and have 10 minutes of telling each other how much we appreciate each other, which is pretty uncommon, I suppose. But
that's good.
Calling it out and celebrating the wins, I think, is important too. It is at times tough to find the balance, but I definitely find trying to keep up your holidays and then, also working in together within the business is good as well.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, that's awesome. Look, it's I think it's important. It's incredibly challenging to give it's incredibly challenging to balance your time, particularly if you haven't planned it. I find, and I talked about this in episode 35 about how I use my Google Calendar is my world, right? So it's set up for the year, and then it gets adapted throughout the year, but everything is in my calendar from the time that I go to sleep to the time that I wake up to the time that I go to the gym to the time that I'm at work during the day, and everything else in between that, and including, breaks and holidays. And, I have that planned a year in advance so that, I know exactly when my partner and I are going to go away, what the weekend is, and then, leading up to that, you plan it, and then we have, the ultimate vision is to have a complete weekend together and away from everyone. So, it's really important to have a really healthy mix of all parts of your I suppose they call it the circle of life, and if without it, you just fall into a heap. Eventually, it'll happen one day.
Yeah. I think that's probably what's happened. History will tell us is that there probably wasn't as much awareness, and people did used to work themselves to the first to the death, and I think we're finally waking up to that, especially with the awareness around mental health. And those that sort of have gone before us have not been as aware of that. And I think it's a much better place in terms of that to be coming through it in these days than potentially it was back then. And it's not to their discredit. I don't think they realised or anyone knew, but they literally worked very bloody hard. And I think it's also, there's still some of that stigma around. Like I said, it's a good thing in the UK that if you don't take your leave, you don't carry it forward. Well, the people just didn't and don't take leave still.
No, it's crazy.
It just builds up, and I think it's one of those things that you should be encouraged to take. Lo and behold, you do take a break and you come back better and more refreshed, and these sort of things. So, there's a lot of work and a lot of chat around it. I've met a number of people in the probably past 12 months that are going to 4-day work weeks, and saying they're smashing it, even manufacturing businesses. So there's a lot of that people saying that sort of stuff increases production, all that sort of stuff. So we'll see, but I think time with the family can never be underrated.
Yeah, absolutely. No, very, very, very important, mate. Back on multi-panel for a minute. Tell us a little bit more about what the ultimate vision is for the business for the next five or so years. What's you guys, give us a look in on that. Have you developed that plan? What does it look like? What's are there some hot products coming? You can give us a sneak look at, or maybe drop some hints. Without upsetting you.
We definitely look forward to to have 10-year targets and 3-year targets. But I mean, ultimately, what we're about is improving waterproofing, but we want to be the gold standard in that and the best in practice. So, it is a target, but I think we're well on our way to achieving it. We're working with some really innovative based businesses, and being CodeMark certified, I think, puts us at the forefront of that and gives it a bit of a peace of mind. I think our products, it can be used in such a range of places within the construction, but also in different industries as well. So, in terms of what we've got to do with that, is just continuing in the waterproofing space and becoming better. We haven't got too much new stuff coming. A lot of this, what I was speaking about before, has only been released recently, which is that graded system and the custom graded system, and that's seen some really good uptake. So I think that's the future. I think we sort of see ourselves as a screed eliminator, if you will, or a waterproof screeder. And I think for us, moving deeper into that market, and I think sometimes potentially your audience or waterproofers as well can see that as a threat in terms of eliminating screed, but the smarter ones can see it as an opportunity to create a lot more revenue for themselves in terms of being able to do a lot more in the same amount of time, not having to wait for screeds to dry. So I think that mixing of sand and cement on site, in our opinion, is something we want to see the back of, and I think we're a perfect replacement for that. So Yeah, for us, what we want to do is become that gold standard in waterproofing, and
Nice.
see move into more the screed space and getting more and more waterproofers and tilers using it.
Yeah, mate, I think I actually love that. I think when you have a look at the younger trades coming through, and I'm 46, so I'm no spring chicken, but I can tell you that a lot of the younger guys, particularly with my day job and the products that we sell, they are looking for more efficient, effective, innovative, ergonomic. You know, you can use all of the cool words in the world, but they are certainly looking for quicker, better, faster, easier. And you know, the only way you're going to, well, one of the only ways that you're going to attract people into trade is by having that new innovation coming through. I think, you know, the days are gone where, you know, you've got you know, buckets of screed, sand and cement screed. I think, you know, there will be a time in the future when you know, waterproofing membranes that are painted on and rolled on will become less and less of a main street product. So I'm sure they have a place, but certainly maybe not in that residential building. I think products like multi-panel that are more I wouldn't say bulletproof, but that are more effective in that, you know, installation space where you can take away the guesswork. It's you know, that's like, yeah, that is where the industry is going. I mean, I've got two young fellas. My youngest boy, he's at a place called Busy School, and he's learning his plumbing, and he's got a 5-year plan mapped out. And but I know my boys, you know, they're 16 and a half and 18, and they're not me, and they're not my parents, and they're not prepared to do, you know, a lot of that. They want things to be a little bit more easier than what we've had them, and that's where the industry is going as well. You know, that's the only way you're going to attract it. It's either going to be that, or we're going to be relying 100% on migration to come in from overseas to build buildings here, which, you know, that's never going to happen. I mean, it'll always be a part, but it's certainly, yeah, that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, our company logo or our tagline is waterproof, smarter, not harder. And I think that speaks to what you're just talking about, is in terms of you can do something that is ultimately better, quicker and faster. You know, there's a lot of benefits associated with that. And I think, yeah, I mean, good on them. And I think there's one seeking out that innovation will be building a better product, because we need a lot of homes built. So
yeah, I know.
it's something that has to,
yeah.
something that's happened. So yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. I think that new age, or that strive for innovation is excellent. And yeah, like I said, we partner with a lot of innovative businesses, and it's some of the stuff we're doing is so cool. I think it just speaks to what you're saying before, in terms of, you know, what a trade might look like in 10 years' time. It's going to be completely different. And I find that exciting, even from a manufacturing point of view. These kids coming out of school, not often seeing manufacturing as a cool thing to go into, but it's cool. It's robots. It's different things. It's using computers. It's not just manual labor. And I think that crosses over to trades-based businesses as well. It's there's a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah, absolutely. On that, something that just popped into my mind. Was Multipanel doing any shows this year that you want to give a shout out for? So that if people want to actually have a chat with you guys. I only ask. I only ask because I'm subscribed to a few emails, and I had the home show pop up just in the last couple of days up here in Queensland. I think that's on in late February. But I wasn't sure if you guys were involved in any of those.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best person to ask. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I know we definitely did the Bowens Expo down here in Melbourne. I think but I think that was last year. It might be every 2 years. We do the Bunnings one. We haven't done a lot of home show sort of stuff. Like I said, our target market's more that medium density builder. But I think we try to reach that side of the market digitally in a lot of ways. So it's just not that we don't want their business. We absolutely do. But it's we used to do a lot of trade shows, particularly when we used to do marine stuff. But we find now doing some more digital marketing, can help as well. But we still enjoy the shows; they're great when we get up and around. But I'm just not quite sure which ones we're doing this year.
No, that's okay. Look, with the show notes that we will put together post show, if you do happen to have any that are coming up in 2024, shoot me an email and I'll include that in there, and that way people can do a bit of prior planning beforehand if they want to attend a show and have a chat with you guys directly.
For sure.
But look, before we wrap up today, we always have our final fast track questions, which we like to get to know our guests a little bit more intimately and just a little bit more about the impact that they can have on other people. So I thought let's shoot into that. But I think for me, I think one of the best questions I like to ask is what is a common myth about your role as a CEO or expertise of your field?
All right, I'll answer it two things. As a business owner, I think everyone often thinks it's quite easy. You can do whatever you want. And you don't work that hard. I think it's the opposite. Then, as an accountant by trade, which is a long time ago since I've done much accounting work, but it's that every accountant knows exactly what you can put in your tax return and what you can claim. It gets to get mates ask me questions. I've got no idea, mate. So I don't think people quite understand the different types of accountants. But also running a small business, it's probably a lot harder than a lot of people think, I think.
Yeah. It looks there's something that pops up in my social media or digital marketing feed all of the time. And I think a lot of people get confused about how much you might see someone online digitally a lot, but that's literally less than 2% of the amount of work that they're doing. They're actually about 98% of the time they're grinding, and 2% of what you see online is the glamour. Might be someone on a bloody yacht or a boat and drinking champagne and with all your mates or at award ceremonies and all that sort of stuff. And you have to very, very quickly understand that that's a very, very minute amount of the 98% that's being done behind the scenes. It's a lot of hard work.
Absolutely.
So not to say that there's nothing wrong with celebrating their awards, but perception can be dangerous if you think that that's 98% of the time and the 2% is the hard work. It doesn't quite work that way.
I don't think so. There is a lot of upside, and like I said, we're a family business, so to work with with family members day in day out is often really rewarding too. So it's good.
Yeah, that's cool. Very, very cool. Sorry, mate, I got lost there for a second. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
I'd go back to London. We're lucky enough to go back there this year. My little sister got married in Italy, and we went over to London with the family and my wife, which is the first time I've been back for nearly 10 years. We're both like, this is still an awesome city. I love my time living there, and like, oh God, if things were different, we'd maybe move back. But I still think Australia and even Melbourne's a great place to raise a family, and so we're staying put. But definitely love my time there, and I love that city.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I've been there once, but loved it. Yeah, beautiful. Obviously very historical, like most of Europe. But just some of the buildings there, you walk past them, and just like it blows you away because we've come from such a young country. So
it's very different.
Yeah. I like this one. Room, desk, or car? What do you clean first?
I'll say room.
Room,
because that's where you spend a bit of time. My desk tends to stay pretty neat, and I think if you talk to a few of our sales reps, they'd probably say the car's got to be neat and tidy because in the road so much. So, but I reckon keep it a nice room, keep it a home, clean home is good.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, the room's one of mine as well, actually. Room and car is sort of equal. I'm in the car probably just as much as I am in the room. So, that's awesome.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
My I'm not a bad cook. That's what I probably should have said that in terms of finding a balance. I enjoy cooking. It's my happy place. So something I'll probably cook for myself. And I bought myself one of those Gosney ovens recently. And I loving doing the homemade pizza. So maybe a homemade pizza.
Nice. Awesome, mate. Well, that's appreciate you sharing that with us. I mean, we like to finish off every episode with getting to know our guests a little bit better, and that's what the final fast track questions are all about.
Cool.
Brenton, mate, thanks so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate it, and thanks for sharing so much and giving us an intimate look at MULTIPANEL and the business and the company and the values and everything that that is you guys. And mate, looking forward to getting to know you better throughout the year. I mean, obviously, this is just the start of 2024. Before we finish up, though, if the community or someone wants to reach out to you directly or to MULTIPANEL, how do they go about doing that? What's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me. Absolutely, it's been great. And to connect with me, reach out through, have a look on our website if you like our products. They can be ordered, like I said, through most major hardware chains, a lot of smaller ones as well, in different shops. Hit us up through there, or hit me up on LinkedIn even if you want to connect like that. That'd be great too. But yeah, get in touch with us via the company, and if you like what we've spoken about and have a look at our products and like them, we'd love you to use them.
Yeah, nice, awesome. And just before we wrap up, do you got? And I should have asked this earlier. Do you have a showroom or anything like that at all where people can look at the products, or is it best just to go into a retailer and have a look?
It's best to go into retail at the moment. Like I said, we're moving factories, and once we're set up in the new place, we'll definitely have a showroom. But it's one of those places, probably more an appointment, but absolutely happy to have anyone. Or we've got a team of sales reps, mainly Victoria based, but that do travel interstate as well. They're happy to go and see people. If you've got a job or a site you're keen for us to come and have a look at, we can do that as well. But absolutely reach out, and we'll come and have a look.
Awesome. Well, Brenton, mate, once again, thanks so much for being on the show. And as we like to say it in every episode, until next time, stay connected, and look forward to speaking to you in the near future, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.